Hi, I'm Angela Marvel, and this is week 3 of my self-portrait project for 2016. This week I want to discuss when is an image actually complete. This is an image I took on October 2nd and came home and edited fairly quickly. This is what I was calling my final image on October 4th. However, although I executed the photo shoot exactly how I wanted, this is very close to how I envisioned it when I went out for the shoot that day. Once it was all put together and I edited everything, I still felt as though the photo was lacking, that it was missing something, and I couldn't put my finger on it. So what I did was put it off to the side. It was not an image that I had to have immediately, which did allow me the freedom to edit other photos in the meantime and come back to this image. I came back to this image about a week ago on January 11th. Now, normally I don't set aside an image for 3 months, but with my busy portrait business and the holidays, I was not able to get back to it any sooner. But having 3 months off, I think, did serve me well, and I'm going to show you the progression that I went with this photo after I already thought it was done. And I hope that this will help show you that if an image bothers you and you can't put your finger on it, it's okay to set it aside and come back to it at a later date. And that sometimes when you do that, the image can grow and become something far better than you had originally envisioned. So this is the photo that I thought was going to be my final image on October 4th. And I came back to it and I started playing around with it. This is January 11th now, when I added fog and I lightened parts of the photo, and immediately I loved it. It was already better. Just that little change of adding that fog and the mist, I thought brightened the photo in a way that it needed and grounded the woman. But I still was not happy with it and still could not put my finger on it. I knew I was bothered by this area right here. I wanted the forest, and I did not want to zoom in on her any more than I already am. But I couldn't put my finger on it, let it sit for a couple days. I ended up working on a different photo, at which point a light bulb went off. While I was working on that photo, I was using a background that I thought might work perfectly for this photo. So I dropped it over it, and that's when I was finally feeling like I had gotten to the point I wanted with this photo. It is a photo of a wall with ivy on it. I lowered the opacity. I used different blending modes and different brushes to blend it to the forest background. And I feel like it created a tunnel in this area that she's walking out of. And then it hit me that this was now becoming more of the clear image than just her emerging from a forest that was undescriptive. I think that was what was bothering me, the undescriptive, just green of the forest. Here, you have this wall. She's walking out from a tunnel. But even then, the image was not 100% done, and I liked the fog effect. And again, working on a different photo, I was using fog in a way that I thought would work really well for this photo, brought it back and added a second layer of fog that was a little bit thicker. And I had it lead through the tunnel. And now this is my final image. And it took 3 months. It was a 3-month process for this particular photo. But I'm really happy. This is what I thought the final image was going to be. And this is what I have now. And I think it speaks two completely different messages, and it's the same photo, just based on the editing. This is something that I really want to get and evolve this year. One of the things in 2011 and 12 when I was really heavily doing self-portraits is I relied on the shooting to convey my emotion. And I think that's a great way. That's what I do in my portrait sessions. I want to get it right in camera. I want everybody looking at me and smiling. I don't want to do head swaps and a bunch of Photoshop work. But one thing that I want to get more creative with this year is Photoshop, allowing myself to change the image from what I shot. Did I stand in front of an ivy wall forest? No, I don't know where that is. I'd have to really research to find a background that would look like this. And I do like going out and finding and shooting at the actual locations, but sometimes they either don't exist or they don't exist within a realistic drivable distance that I want to get better this year at creating. And that's another thing. So don't forget that you can create your backgrounds in Photoshop. Merge two photos together. Go out and shoot one day, just backgrounds. Go shoot interesting walls, interesting buildings, alleyways, really cool looking trees. You never know when you could drop them into another photo and have it go from looking like this to something more like this, that it stands out. So don't forget that if a photo bugs you, that is okay. Set it aside and come back to it. And maybe a little bit of magic will happen.